to another edition of White Horse Live, coming to you from White Horse Black Mountain. This evening is the 36th episode of White Horse Live, hosted as always by Bob Hinkle and co-produced by White Horse Black Mountain and Rad House Studio. Tonight, we welcome Walter Parks to the White Horse stage. We're very glad to be open again to the public, but seating at White Horse is very limited due to ongoing COVID safety recommendations. We'll continue to offer these programs as live online streams. There is no fixed ticket price for the live stream of this program. Instead, we ask that you pay what you can. More now than ever, our artists rely on your tips. They can't hear your applause if you're watching this at home. Your tips are the way to show your appreciation for them. The best way to do that is to visit whitehorselive.tips in your web browser. Not .com, not tips.com, it's just whitehorselive.tips. And we'll display the tip jar address from time to time during the show, just as we are now. Thank you for helping make this series a success. We're grateful for your help in spreading the word. Please keep sharing the event notices, hosting those live watch parties, and telling all your friends. Now here's your host, Bob Hinkle.
Good evening, everybody. When the song rises up, white horses will fill the mountains. When the song rises up, then the clouds roll away. If you don't believe that music has power, just stay right here with us for just about an hour. Well, Walter Parks, he gonna lift you up. He will loosen up your tighten and he will fill your cup. When the song rises up, white horses will fill the mountains. When the song rises up, then the clouds roll away, then the clouds roll away, then the clouds roll away. We're glad to have you this evening. Now let me tell you a little bit about this fellow that you're going to be seeing. Walter Parks is a Florida fellow, but somebody who's been around this block and the next. He's made a bunch of LPs. When he does a group thing, as he has sometimes in the recent years, he tends to do it with a trio called Swamp Cabbage. I've always wondered if they smell as funny as the name implies. Oh well. Walter was, for a good while, sideman with Richie Havens. He's recorded with the Preservation Hall Jazz Band, the great Bernard Purdie, David Wilcox, Chris Rosser, David Lamont, and more. Judy Collins said a nice thing about Walter. She said, to hear Walter is to be lifted into a mystical sphere. I adore him. Now, I agree about the mystical part. And I can't quibble about the sphere, but I'm not sure about the adoring. Recently, the Library of Congress invited Walter to perform and record from the deep well he has of hollers, hymns, and reels made by the original homesteaders of Florida's Okefinokee swamp. Having heard some of them, I can tell you that they are beautiful, mysterious, and moving. They're well worth your time, as you will hear. Walter Parks has put all this together and added some more of his own fine songs and come up with a body of work that could only be put over by a 6'5" bearded string bean with the abilities to seem to transcend and take folks beyond the day. And there's one more thing. He has penned one of my very favorite songs. It's a philosophical, serious, and deep. It's called You Get More Booty When Buddha's Around. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Walter Parks.
I'm coming home again, tired of traveling, but I don't know who'll be waiting by and by. I pray they let me in, round to see my kin, and I don't know who'll be waiting by and by. I don't know if I'll make it by and by. Well, I'm coming home again. I'm tired of traveling. Now I don't know if I'll make it by and by. No, I don't know if I'll make it by and by. No, I don't know if I'll make it by. The Comin' Home Holler. I pulled that from the archives of the Library of Congress. It was originally sung in the Okefinokee swamp in southeast Georgia. And I took an interest in that music on a hunch because I used to camp out there as a Boy Scout and later as an adult. You really can't free-form camp in the Okefinokee anymore. But I used to do it quite a bit. And I would find this rusty machinery out there and railroad tracks woven amidst the palmetto bushes. And I thought, if there were all those people out there at one point, there must have been music made. And sure enough, in the Library of Congress, I found a small trove of music that I've taken on as a research project. Nobody, I come to find out, had ever tried to make this music available in a contemporary way. It was just sitting there for us to listen to. But very few people know about it. And I'm quite proud that this past summer, the Library of Congress asked me to do a special. And during the month of August 2020, I devoted my time to making films of me playing and reinterpreting this Okefinokee swamp music, and that was one of the pieces. That was originally sung by a young boy, and so it was quite challenging to sing in his range and so on, and I had to work that all out for myself, and I hope you enjoyed that one. So there's more along those lines, and but Bob mentioned my song "More Booty with Buddha," and I wrote that in France a couple of trips back. I went to study in near Bordeaux, France, with Thich Nhat Hanh at Plum Village, and I spent a whole summer there at the urging of a good friend of mine named Tom Prasada Rao. He kind of sensed that I was burning out on the road, and my perspective on music was darkened, and he said, look, you need to take a break and just go to a monastery. So I did. And when I got out of the monastery after being there for about 3 months, the first thing I did was to take a train from Bordeaux right into the heart of Paris, and I worked my way to a neighborhood called Pigalle. Well, Pigalle is a very interesting section of Paris near Montmartre, and I was walking around, and there's these wonderful neon lights, and the Moulin Rouge is there, and these beautiful ladies came up to me seemingly out of nowhere, and I speak a little French, and they were talking to me, and I couldn't walk a half a block, and these ladies were just coming out of nowhere. And I thought that, well, this monastery thing, this Buddhism, these Buddhist teachings must be just magnetizing these beautiful French ladies to me. And it wasn't until I got about 3 blocks down that I realized these were ladies of the night, and that they didn't really care too much for me. I think they cared a little bit for my wallet, so to speak. But the irony of it is that when I went to France, I was there to sort of work on my ego, and of course it failed me miserably when I thought that the ladies were interested in having a chat with me. But I found that kind of humorous, and I thought, well, I must take this home to Nashville, where I was living at the time, and I wrote this song called More Booty with Buddha. I liked to drive to my Lord this way in my powder blue Lincoln every Sunday. Got my patent leather shoes, I'm hard to miss. Want the whole congregation to see me like this. Woo. Like this. There's a traffic signal near the black light shop. I see a beautiful hippie. She sees me stop. She's wearing go-go boots and a cowboy hat. She's got a sheer sundress. Between all that, I must say, I'm surprised, 'cause it seems she likes me by the look in her eyes. I pull off to let her in. Lord, I've let you straight down again. Oh, yes, I did. She had a Georgia accent that was really cute. It had me popping through my leisure suit. I said, now, let's keep on riding down to Sunday service. She said, Bible thumping just makes her a little bit nervous. Oh, I follow my Buddha, not Jesus Christ. She said, Buddha's been better for her love life. She don't want no savior bringing her down, 'cause she gets more booty when Buddha's around. Well, now we head to the boonies where alone she lived, in a solar panel teepee way off the grid. She invites me in for a thank you smoothie. Lord, she's tempting me heavy duty. Oh, there were golden Buddhas left and right, and then she loads the hooker. I saw the light. I'm gonna keep my savior, but pound for pound, you're getting more booty when Buddha's around. Oh, I love my savior, but pound for pound, you're getting more booty when Buddha's around. You know, I love my savior, but pound for pound, you get more booty when Buddha's around. More booty with Buddha. You don't come to the blues for perfection. You come to it kind of for feel and but I'm glad I've come here, and I'm glad I found you open. And the reason is, right when the COVID hit, I had a show in Pennsylvania booked, and I showed up, and I couldn't get in touch with him, and my name wasn't on the marquee like it is out here tonight. And I thought, what the heck, I've driven all this way. And the thought came to me that maybe that empty marquee is just a symbol of where we're going to be for the next year. And Bob, I'm happy that you're keeping the lights on, so to speak, and because you are, I've stopped by. I'm living in St. Louis now. Moved from New York to St. Louis when the COVID hit. After my Pennsylvania gig didn't happen, and so I thought the empty theater marquee would be a metaphor for where we all are, not knowing when we're going to start back again. But because you're open, I've taken the chance to come by. I had some business that I had to tend to in New York, so on my way from St. Louis to New York, we've stopped by and done this. So my good friend Rob Curto, who is the accordion player in Swamp Cabbage, sent me this melody, and it was folky in nature, and lyrics just started coming to me, and I thought, we've never written a song together, and I thought this would sound great as a Swamp Cabbage CD or a Swamp Cabbage tune when we finally get going. So here's this one. Tune up. Yes, we are taking chances for those of us who stay on the road and occasionally do a show. But the way I figure, I'm trying to figure this out for myself and for other people, how to do it, how to do this in a way that kind of makes sense and it's safe. they're missing letters on the theater marquee. Nothing where my name should be. I'll be playing for Lord only knows. Hell, I just suppose. Well, I have traveled against the prophecy. Traveling will mean the death of me. I travel for Lord only knows. Hell, I just suppose. I play for one guarantee, certain uncertainty. When I fall, I go on with the show. So I play where I must, until gold or until I bust. For Lord only knows, hell, I just suppose. I'm gonna play until the ground she catches me. Ain't gonna beg for mercy. I'm playing till Lord only knows. Hell, I just suppose. Gonna play until the living bury me. Two on the way can carry me. I'm playing till Lord only knows. Hell, I just suppose. Ain't no lights on no stage. Hold a candle up to my babe. She shines through highs and through lows. She says play where you must, until gold or until you bust. For Lord only knows, hell, we just suppose. You think we're suffering? This ain't nothing. This ain't slave restoration. This ain't war. Has the crown of creation come down on this nation that is too big to fall or ignore? On no stage, hold a candle up to my babe. She shines through highs and through lows. She says play where you must, until gold or until we bust. For Lord only knows, hell, I just suppose. They've written letters on the theater marquee. Sorry, closed indefinitely. I'll be waiting for Lord only knows. Hell, I just suppose. The theater marquee. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. Some of y'all know that. And I moved to New York kind of trying to figure out what my sound would be, you know, and what my style of music would be. And sometimes you think you have something figured out in life, and especially as an artist, it's the greatest goal is to kind of find our own style and that sort of thing. And you can only do so much figuring. You can only do so much planning about that. And I realized that, you know, maybe I ought to just do more listening instead of kind of scheming and trying to come up with a game plan. So I started hearing people say, you have such a swampy style. It just kind of sounds like the South. But I was trying to run from that. I was trying to run from everything I'd always heard when I was younger. And I wanted to be something different. I wanted to be European and sort of something that was against the grain of what I grew up as. And it took me a long time, up until recently, really, to figure out how to wear a polka dotted shirt and play swamp blues and and be okay with that. But when people started telling me time after time, I said to myself, maybe that's what I've come to New York to do, is to just be who I am. Maybe I've come all that far to go back home, in a sense, metaphorically. And so I just dug in, and I just started kind of doing this a lot more. But I had a gig with Richie Havens. I played with Richie for 10 years, and I couldn't really be doing that behind Richie Havens. Richie Havens was a one-man band. He was a drummer and an organ player and a choir and everything that we know to be Richie, in addition to all those other things. Now, when I say he was a choir and a drummer, I mean it was implied in what he did. And he used to tell me he was really a drummer. And if you notice in his playing style, it's kind of just this constant gallop, that kind of thing. Freedom, freedom. Here comes the sun. That kind of a groove. And there was no way I could figure out how to do my swampy thing underneath that. But what I did do is I brought out this kind of banjo picking vibe underneath it. And that's how I survived as me in that sense. I loved playing with Richie Havens, but as a side person, your job is to support and make the leader of the band sound as good as possible. And Richie gave me one piece of advice or direction the whole time I worked with him, and that was he wanted our guitar players to sound like one guitar. And when he told me that, the light went off, because I knew I couldn't play anything traditional. And so I kind of started playing this banjo style, like if it was in D, and Here Comes the Sun, it'd be like Here comes the sun. So all that was going on underneath his thing. So that's kind of, Richie Havens taught me how to do this swampy thing in a certain way without really teaching it to me, because I needed to be me, but I needed to figure a way to do it and still support him. But before I accepted that swampiness about myself, and I was listening to other musicians down in Jacksonville, Florida, there was a guy who used to play his electric guitar on the front porch in downtown Jacksonville. And I got up the nerve to ask my mother to stop the car one day. He had a Sears Silvertone guitar, which he played through a Montgomery Ward's amplifier. And this guy sounded like a choir, like a drummer, like an organ player, all in one guy. He had that magic of Richie, that completeness. He had the world in one person. But instead of so much the world, he had the whole South in one guy. And he said, "Sit down, son, I'll tell you the secret." And it made me nervous. He kind of looked at me a way that people looked at me in my youth when they were coming up my driveway with a little black book in their hand, and I knew my soul would be in question. But I didn't want to talk to him about my soul. I wanted to talk about the guitar. Aspects of the guitar, the tuners, the strings, the wood, the pickup, the harmonics and the amplifiers. And he said, no, none of that matters. He said, you got to play the guitar with the Jesus tone. And it scared me to death. I didn't want to talk spiritual with this man. I was 15 years old. So I thanked him for his time as soon as I could, turned around respectfully, and went back to my mother's car. And I wrote this song many years later as if I had had a long conversation with him. So this fiction is kind of what I had wished that I had been old enough to have heard from him. It's a little funny thing I hope you like called the Jesus tone. I can't play the guitar with a Jesus tone. I don't even wanna bother strapping it on without the Jesus tone. I might as well stay on. Well, my preacher got a pulpit and a microphone. I can't play the guitar without Jesus tone. I can't earn a living, I can't earn a living without Jesus' hand. I can't drive a nail, I can't drive a van without the Jesus hand. I ain't worth a damn. I'm gonna lose my occupation to a much better man who's got the Jesus hand. Without the Jesus tongue. People keep on asking me what country I'm from without the Jesus tongue. People call me dumb. I'm gonna scream at the sinners I'm working among. I can't make no sense without the Jesus tongue. You know I like my Jesus tone. You know I like my Jesus tone. You know I like my Jesus tone. Oh, I like, so if you wanna play the guitar with the Jesus tone, plug into an amplifier the Savior condones, you'll get the Jesus tone with everyone you own. I say to hell with the devil and his black cat bone. I can't play the guitar without Jesus tone. I like my Jesus tone. You know 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 I like. Jesus tone. Bring your sin to me. Don't bring your good. Bring what you want to me, not what you should. Bring the dark to me. Don't bring your light. Bring what's wrong to me, not what's right. We don't have to be alone. Right now, we're on our own. Bring your sin to me. Bring it home. Bring your thoughts to me. Don't bring your heart. Don't bring who you ought to be. I want who you are. Bring your shame to me. Confess. Bring your rain to me to rest. Bring your shame to me. Confess. It's all the same to me. Just rest. Bring your thoughts to me. Don't bring your heart. Bring who you are, not who you ought. We don't have to be alone. Right now we're on our own. Bring your sand to me. Bring your sand to me. It's a new one of mine. I'm doing a radio show every Sunday morning, and it goes out to. It's on the internet. It's Facebook and YouTube. And in doing that and preparing for that, I've inadvertently prepared myself for what we're doing tonight, because for the most part, this is a club that we've got some crew here, but I know that there's a lot of people listening, but not as many folks in the room. So years back, that would have seemed very awkward to me, but surviving in the COVID times has changed all of that. And so we very much rely on your support and generosity during these times when we're doing these live broadcasts and so on. So throughout the broadcast, if you feel so inclined, you can go to whitehorselive.tips. That's White Horse, WHITXUL. I'm just kidding. It's White Horse. Whitehorselive.tips. And not .tips.com, just freaking tips. .tips. And it will instruct you how to deal with your issues of generosity. And we are here to help you through these times of, no, in all seriousness, just we need your support. We need to know you're there, but we also need to know that you're going to remember us when the COVID's lifted. And we also need to keep this going. And we would very, very much appreciate a little bit of help. Thank you, Bob Hinkle, for having me tonight at the White Horse Black Mountain. I have a strong tie with Asheville, and my great-grandfather moved his family here during the in early 1900s, and he was a merchant in Swannanoa. I've told you this maybe before, but he had a little general store in Swannanoa, and the building still stands. It's right next to where Beacon Blankets used to be. Swannanoa is I don't know if it's actually the first town east of Asheville. Maybe it isn't. Maybe there's others, but it's the first little town that's sort of still in existence on Highway 70 east of Asheville, North Carolina, which is where the area that we're coming from. The next town east of Swannanoa is Black Mountain, where we're broadcasting from tonight. So between Black Mountain and Asheville is Swannanoa, where my great-grandfather used to have a general store. And he did so well with that, the Southern Railroad contacted him about being the station manager of the Southern Railroad station. And my relative, whatever would be my father's cousin, second cousin, I guess she would be, great cousin or something like that. Maybe I had to guess right. Anyway, she still lives here in this area, and she sent me an article from 1917 or so, wherein my great-grandfather was given an award by the Southern Railroad that he kept the most aesthetically pleasant station in the whole Southern Railroad network during those days. This was right after or during the war. And the title of the article was Agent Parks and His Flowers. And I thought, if I ever form another band, that's going to have to be my band name, is Agent Parks and His Flowers. And so coming back to this area is an odd homecoming for me. I love this area, the Asheville and Black Mountain and Swannanoa area. I lived here for a short while, for 2 or 3 years in downtown Asheville, and I loved it. This is where I'm going to insert a song that it was kind of a wild card song. So they prepared a list, and they were all ready for me to just play a certain thing. So this is going to be a song of mine called The Angel's Point of View, if you could key that one up. This is something that I included on my first solo record, just called Walter Parks. It's available online. The reason I'm doing this one, it was the first song that I wrote when I lived in downtown Asheville. There's a reverend who is still with us who has a church called Jubilee Church, or I think he's retired now, but Howard Hanger used to have he still does. He has this wonderful mansion in downtown Asheville, and he was nice enough to let me stay there for a while. And that place was so inspiring, and a little sparrow landed on my windowsill, and that sparrow just kind of gave me this tune, and I'm going to play it for you right now. Was the drum machine just kind of misfiring? Did I hear that right? You can say yes if you want, if you wouldn't mind. What was going on there? Well, anyway, I can't tell, but it wasn't a drum machine. It was a drum. It's a drum pedal. I'll tell you about my Sunday morning radio show in a little while, but this is one that I'm likely to do in the Sunday morning show. It's one of mine, and it kind of sounds a little bit like a church hymn, and it's called The Angel's Point of View. Let a sparrow sing a song for the angel. She don't belong, 'cause she don't matter, not like she should in the devil's neighborhood. Little angel, fly to me, let me touch you, let me see. I'm gonna listen if you come around on the devil's side of town. You can take me with the truth. You can be my living proof. Wanna see the same world that you do from the angel's point of view. Let the weeds on the ground. I'm an angel. No one's around. I can't fly when the sky's not blue. There's too much trouble to fly through. All I wanted was the truth. So I love for mine and you. Tried to see the same world you saw too. From the angel's point of view. Little angel, I was blind. I tried to catch you. I tried to make you mine. I tried to save you. But what from? You're already loved by everyone. The angel's point of view. I had a group called the Nudes, and that almost made it to the Nudes' very last record. The Nudes were kind of based out of here for a while. Stephanie Winters played cello, and I played acoustic guitar. But we didn't quite have that one ready, and I put that on my solo record. If you're watching this broadcast, perhaps you could also, if you're curious about more of my music or would like to purchase a recording of it, you can go to my website, walterparks.com, and there's all kind of things about stories from the road. There's my different projects are there. It's just, it's kind of like a scrapbook, or I try to share with people what this life of a traveling artist or a touring artist and what the process of staying in the arts is. And I talk a lot about that in my radio show. It's every Sunday morning. On the East Coast, you can find it at 10 a.m. every Sunday morning on Facebook. Just go to find me on Facebook, Walter Parks Music or something like that. Facebook, and there's also a YouTube live of it. And I've been invited to by WPVM.org also, which is a station in downtown Asheville, to broadcast with them. So you can find me there as well throughout the year. And when my father passed away 2 years ago, it was requested of me that I play a song that he liked, and it was a Christian hymn, and I never had played church music before. I'm not a church guy, you know. I went to church when I was younger, but it just wasn't part of my routine as an adult, and I played these songs, and I realized that whether or not you follow a certain dogma, teaching, or religion, this music has pain and suffering and heart and joy all written into it, sometimes regardless of the words. The words are part of it, but if the song is really catching and holding on with millions of people throughout the world, there's usually a universal reason for that. And I believe the power of these songs is just came through the writer. For instance, Amazing Grace, a song written by an old slaver who, in a redemptive or an attempt to redeem himself after years of trading Africans back and forth across the Atlantic Ocean, he said to himself, "What am I doing?" And I think that sense of shame is written into those words, not just through the direct lyrics of what a wretch I am, the pain of, I'm not even going to play the song, but just Amazing Grace. That's in a different key. Amazing Grace. I'm in a different tuning, so that's a disaster, but you get what I'm saying. It's the power of that just echoes and stays with that song. And this is all leading up to me kind of embracing some of that spiritual music. Hymns, and also, when I say hymns, I'm talking about European type music that came from white traditions. And then I got interested in spirituals that we used to call Negro spirituals. And there's places where all of that music comes together, which, for instance, in Amazing Grace, sung throughout the United States in black churches and white churches and embraced equally, probably because of the subject matter. But I formed a group in New York City of musicians on all sides of the culture and race range, and the group is called the Unlawful Assembly, and we're playing spirituals, American historic spirituals, and we're playing hymns, and it's it's wonderfully threaded together, and it's all redone in contemporary ways. So I'm going to play one of those right now, I think. Let's see, let me look at my list here. Yeah. I'm going to play Old Blind Barnabas, so we're getting back on track here. Give you a chance to get that back up. And I love playing this one. I heard the Blind Boys of Alabama do a version of this. And since there's not many people here in the room, I'm going to talk to y'all out in the virtual world. The Blind Boys of Alabama manifested this song, or their studio band or whatever, in this way that just confounded me when they did this song. Listen to the beginning of it on their record. But I hope you hold out and pick up a copy of the Unlawful Assembly when it comes out soon. Just check my website. But it's this wonderful combination of the Hammond B3 organ and a piano interlacing at the same time. And I thought, how am I ever going to play that? And I just worked on it and worked on it and worked on it until I went back to what I realized with Richie Havens. If I just put that banjo picking style in there, whenever I'm in that lifeboat or that canoe has a hole in it and it seems like I'm going down, I just come back to the south. I come back to what's natural for me. And I figured out a way to manifest the song, and I love playing it. Old blind Barnabas stood on the way. Old blind Barnabas stood on the way. Old blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. Old blind Barnabas stood on the way. Old blind Barnabas stood on the way. Old blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. And my God's Bible in the book of James, healing the sick and the crippled and lame. He gave to the poor and the needy bread. He healed the sick and he raised the dead. He told me that he came from Galilee. He stood by a man who could not see. The man was blind from crippling birth. He told me that his name was Barnabas. I said, oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. Well, my Lord looked and he turned around. He saw Barnabas on the ground. He touched his head with the palm of his hand. Barnabas saw like a natural man. He said, oh Lord, son of David. Oh Lord, Mary's baby. Oh Lord, be the healing hand. I'm a blind man. Oh Lord, son of David. Oh Lord, Mary's baby. Oh Lord, be the healing hand. I'm a blind man. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. time, Barnabas. Woo! I wish y'all could be here tonight. I wish. But you know what? We're going to be together again. And I'm just doing my part to remind you what's going to be waiting for you when the COVID cracks open. And when the COVID lifts, I'm hoping to come around again with my group Swamp Cabbage, and we'll turn a lot of these songs that I'm playing individually into a kind of a raucous, swampy little kind of low country ball here in the high country. So. One of the things that is always refreshing to me when I drive through the country. This morning I was in Wyabald. I don't know if y'all know where Wyabald is. It's in the Nantahala National Forest. I drove across the mountain pass there and came down through Franklin and made my way over here. And when you start getting close to Franklin, you kind of see the vestiges of days that have gone by. You see farms that were just hopping and just kicking, and some of them are just boarded up. Some of the old farmhouses are boarded up. Some of them are just they didn't bother closing and locking them. They just kind of frozen in time, and nature's taking them over. And anytime I see a piece of property that's like that, I always think there's a story behind that, and some people tried to keep that land and to keep that farm going, but somebody in that family was not successful in maintaining it, and there's probably a sense of disappointment and loss and heartbreak behind all those old barns, and a lot of them get sold out, and developers build subdivisions over them. You know the cycle. And I was reminded this morning coming through Franklin of a song that I wrote for my next record that's coming up soon. It's a song called Try, and I wrote it in Wisconsin, thinking about an old farmhouse and wondering what the story was, and I just kind of, I got a visual of a farmer and his wife on the last day when they were closing and they were saying goodbye to their piece of property, and what their thoughts might be. So take this as just a little soundtrack when you're driving through the country and on an old road like 226 or something that I like to take when I'm going to Charlotte, and we're just heading out through the woods anywhere. This is one called Try. So this will be my memory, the last I take of you. Something that I love so much, but I can't hold on to. This is what it feels like when the fickle hand of time leads us through our innocence, and then it turns unkind. We thought nothing could affect us. We made a deal with Providence. We prayed that you protect us from the elements. So how can I just leave you here to die on solid land? It's a matter of foundation. It's a matter of the man. Try to keep living. Try to catch the light. Try to keep giving. You'll be all right. He built you in Wisconsin back in 1922. His granddad was so fond of saying no other state would do. He had left winter's bite on another continent, and that he had to have his northern lights was no coincidence. So I feel like I betrayed you after all you've done, 'cause I will never pass you down like my father to his son. And I pray you catch your young man's eye and he paints you white again. You never know how hard I tried. Good luck to you, old friend. Try to keep living. Try to catch the light. Try to keep giving. You'll be all right. So this will be my memory, the last I take of you. Something that I love so much, but I can't hold on to. Try. I'm kind of proud of the sound that I'm getting on some of these songs. I wonder if any of y'all like the Who in the early '70s when they used those arpeggiators to start songs like "We Won't Get Fooled Again." I had this sort of a well, I can't play it on this guitar because it doesn't have a cutaway, but you know, like the. That kind of a thing. But I always wanted to figure out a way to do that on the guitar. And I found a little gizmo that would kind of do that. It was a company in Akron, Ohio that makes a thing that is the perfect it allows the perfect marriage between the acoustic guitar and electronics, and so it's kind of like a synthesizer of sort, but it's really cool in that I'm up here kind of tangoing with this thing. I mean, it's not dictating to me the way I play. I play the chord, and it takes it and kind of changes it in a random way, sort of, but not a random tempo. The tempo is something we agree upon before we start the song, but I have to stick with it. It's kind of like a good marriage, a good relationship. I'm just, you come to a decision on the tempo, and you got to stay on that track. And so I'm gonna demonstrate that sort of vibe and that effect on another tune that I'm getting ready to do. And this is on my solo record called Cathedral. I'm very, very proud of this because I did this in a big church, European-style church in Jersey City. And I've always wanted to do a record of just my voice and solo guitar, and it was frightening. But I think I pulled it off, and I think I did a pretty good job of it, and this one's on that. So I hope you take pleasure in this. Ooh, can't do that. I gotta get the tuning right. I'm so sorry. That will never work. My brain is not quick enough to translate that. And since I stopped, I want to make sure this delay is set right. There we go. We skip the line fandango, turn cartwheels across the floor. I was feeling pretty seasick, and the crowd called out for more. The room was humming harder as the ceiling flew away. And when we called out for another man, the waiter brought a tray, and so it was. The letter, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first was ghostly turned to whiter shade of pale. She said there was no reason, the truth is plain to see. So I stumbled through my playing card, people I just couldn't let her be. One of the 16 best virgins that were leaving for the coast. And although people that might just as well been close. And so it was the later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned to whiter shade of pale. Thank you. I tell you, I've taken a couple of songs here that I don't normally play. I don't normally do that one in that manner, and I just really wanted to do it tonight. Being out on the road in the COVID is an interesting time for any performer. And I tell you, when I say the road, it's not like I've been doing this. Believe me, this is the first opportunity in weeks for me to perform. And so we're all getting rusty, honestly. All of us. If you're a performer, if you're a dancer, if you depend on interaction and you're just rehearsing in your studio. I live in St. Louis now, but it doesn't matter where we live. We're getting rusty right now. And Bob Hinkle, thank you so much for giving myself the opportunity to come in and perform. I'm not on tour, but I had business in New York that I'm driving from St. Louis to New York to do. I'm finishing my Unlawful Assembly record, actually. This has not been a perfect performance. I'm not happy with some of the songs that I played, or the way that I played them. The songs are fine. But you know what? I'm still okay that I'm out here trying to keep the craft alive. And if nobody's out there performing, and if nobody gets the chance to see if we can even still do it when the COVID lifts, people are going to forget that they need live music. They're going to forget how they feel about it. And that's what I'm concerned about. So if you can help to keep myself and other musicians on the road and keep this programming paid for, to do a nice 3-camera shoot, it's not easy. It requires a crew. It requires people who care about making it look right, and all that costs money. And we're doing this kind of as a on the hopes and goodwill that you can help us out, and that you want to keep the arts going, the traveling arts, the live entertainment arts as well. So if you can, visit whitehorselive.tips. White Horse Live, all one word, .tips. And there will be instructions as to how you can help us. And there are many different ways to do that. I'm going to do one more song tonight, and this is... I enjoy this song, but this is the only song that I ever really, that came together for me in the studio almost. I call that sort of Exile on Main Street method, where a band just kind of practically writes a song when they're all together. And I sort of did that on this next one. It's a comedic song. It's a comedic true story about bringing down one of my musician friends from the north, and this person had never experienced grits before. You know, a lot of northerners, Bob, you lived in New York City for years, and a lot of New Yorkers are just, there's some kind of almost a genetic aversion to eating grits. It's not even to eating grits, it's the thought of grits. Something they just can't picture themselves doing it at all. But the fact is, I think grits are very similar in taste to polenta. You know, I made polenta recently. I'm like, this is grits. Why don't they just call it grits? Well, polenta was probably around way before grits were, so that's why they don't call it grits. But anyway, so he goes. I just wanted to see what was going to happen because he was all free range and everything had to be just, you know, pasture raised and grass fed and one of those kind of guys. And he goes into the Waffle House, which I took him to, and ordered grits without butter. And it's not done here in the South. That's not allowed. It's really it's probably against laws in certain jurisdictions, but the waiter said in a wonderful Southern courtesy and firmness and resoluteness and control all packed into one punch, he said, "Oh, sir, I'm sorry. You'd like your grits without butter? I'm sorry, but they gon' be butter. They gon' be butter." I love that. So. So whenever you're in a little pickle and you're faced with one of life's inevitabilities, they mostly come by location. So what would one be for the Asheville, Black Mountain, Swannanoa? Oh, okay. Let's say you want to take a trip in the fall to see the leaves, as so many people do. And you say to yourself, well, I'm going to just drive up on the Blue Ridge Parkway and I hope I have it all to myself and it's just going to be a smooth ride the whole time. Nope. Say to yourself, they going to be butter. There going to be a lot of people up there. I hope y'all have enjoyed my little cyber concert tonight. Not cyber, what do they call these things? Virtual concerts. Or go to whitehorselive.tips if you want to help out what we're doing here at the White Horse. I'm Walter Parks. I'm on the road tonight broadcasting from Black Mountain, North Carolina. My grandfather used to live right down the road a piece. And I asked him, he was a boy during the time of, he was a young man during the time of the Black Mountain College. And I said, and he grew up in a kind of a conservative family. I said, Granddad, what did you think of all those people in the Black Mountain School up there, the Black Mountain College? And he was like, well, you know, they would wear mini skirts and go-go boots and had painted hair and all these sorts of things, and we locals just left them alone. And I have a feeling that some of those people would be proud of that description. But the vestiges of the Black Mountain colleges are still up there, and I think on the grounds of where the Leaf Festival now is. But it's always good to be back in these parts. Butter or no butter? I'm salivating, I'm a Pavlov's man. Lube up the air with the aerosol. I smell the bacon and the hot pecans. I do hope that I don't embarrass y'all. I get the feeling that this place is under your cosmopolitan suspicion. You very nearly made a fatal blunder. 2 order grits with butter missing. And they gon' be butter people where y'all from. That's just the way this kind of food gon' come. They gon' be waffles when you're in the house. They gon' be butter when you come down south. Scour the menu through the laminate for anything on it subtle or insipid. Look how the pictures on it obviate. They gon' be smothered in lipids. And they gon' be butter people where y'all from. And that's just the way this kind of food gon' come. They gon' be waffles when you're in the house. They gon' be butter when you come down south. Come on. Butter. So y'all come to Dixie, be my guest. Just leave it up to me to where go. Your dietitian may not be impressed. You want the essence of us, ergo. One place of business doesn't represent 11 letters, black and yellow. I like the dishes with them messes bent. Just get a booth around the elbow. And they gon' be butter people where y'all from. That's just the way this kind of food gon' come. They gon' be waffles when you're in the house. They gon' be butter when you come down south. Come on. They gon' be butter people. Butter. Thank you very much for listening wherever you might be. And remember, my name is Walter Parks. Thanks to the White Horse Black Mountain. It's always good to play here. It's got one of the best sounds on all the stages that I've been to. And with my groups, Swamp Cabbage and the Unlawful Assembly, and my playing solo and all my years with Richie Havens, I played a lot of rooms. I played Madison Square Garden and Carnegie Hall, and here I am. And it's always feels good to be here, Bob. So thank you for putting in the time and the money and the effort to make the sound good. Stay in touch with Bob and the events that he's got going on here. If you can support us tonight, sure appreciate a little help. Visit whitehorselive.tips, T-I-P-S, and tune into my radio station every Sunday morning. It's not my radio station. It's a radio show. It's called Hymns and Hollers, and it's spirituals and hymns. And you can find me at Walter Parks Music. Oftentimes I'm broadcasted through the network of WPVM, actually here in Asheville, but they're sending me out all over the country to community radio on the Pacifica network. I'm proud of that. 10 a.m. Sunday morning, East Coast, 9 a.m. Central, and then however the math works out for Guam and those parts of the world. Y'all, thank you very much. I'm Walter Parks. Good night.
Thank you, Walter. That was magnificent. It was an honor to have you. When the song rises up, white horses will fill the mountains. When the song rises up, then the clouds roll away. Well, sisters, aren't you glad to feel that fear of fading? Brothers, aren't you glad there's gonna be a better day? People, ain't you glad that we're all in this together? People, ain't you glad the clouds gonna roll away? Well, Walter Parks, he was the vessel here this time. We hope that you enjoyed yourself, maybe had a glass of wine. Hope that you were able to let go of yourself. I hope that we could help you take your joy down off the shelf. When the song rises up, white horses will fill the mountains. When the song rises up, then the clouds roll away. Then the clouds roll away. Then the clouds roll away. Right. Now we got one more piece of business here. Those of you who've been with us before will understand that White Horse Live is continuing with the Between the Cushions Worldwide Contest. We want you to feel around between the cushions of your couch and let us know what the most interesting thing you find is. Send us a card to Between the Cushions, White Horse Live, P.O. Box 456, Black Mountain, North Carolina 28711. A weekly winner will be announced right here, and there will be an overall winner as soon as we find the cheapest pair of overalls. This week's winners are Major and Mary Agnes Jeanpool of Zygote, North Carolina. They found a slice of cured ham that Mary Agnes had cooked about 13 months ago between the cushions. It was just a little bit green. Major promptly ate it, saying, "You know, you can't hurt ham." These are the kind of life-changing issues that we deal with every day here at White Horse Live. So, be well, be safe, and remember, you should never criticize a person until you've walked a mile in their shoes. Think of it this way. You'll be a mile away, and you'll have their shoes. See you next time. Good night now.
Thanks for joining us for White Horse Live. We hope you've enjoyed the show. And for those of you here in person, we hope you enjoyed being back at White Horse. We hope that you're with us and that we're with you for dozens more years to come. This program is produced by White Horse Black Mountain and by Rat House Studio. Bob Hinkle is your host and executive producer. This week's audio engineer is Jessica Fox, who is also our key grip. Jessica Wharton is director of photography. Public relations services provided by Maggie Rainwater at Hoosier Devil. I'm Rebecca Hillgraves, director and producer for these programs. Special thanks now to Nathan Kirkley. Now that the doors are open, he provides liquid refreshments to the White Horse audience and staff. And also thanks to Craig Rumney, who manages the box office and keeps things, well, clowning around. Join us next Saturday evening, November 7th at 8 o'clock for Akira Satake and Duncan Wickle, right here on White Horse Live. In the meantime, be good to each other, and that includes all people.